Hello and welcome my friends to another video of the course Programming Fundamentals with Python. This is going to be the last video for this course and I'm sure that in the near future I will be able to start the second portion which will be focusing on object-oriented programming in Python. In week number 16 in the theory class we have studied different concepts related with file handling in Python. Like we learned how we can create a file, how we can open a file, how we can edit a file, how we can read the contents of a file, how to remove a file, and so on. Things like that in the theory class. This practical session will demonstrate the concepts that you have learned in the theory class. Let us see our first program for this week. First for line, as usual, there are comments. Line number 5. F is a variable and I am going to assign something to this variable. Open is a method which is used to open a file. You need to provide two arguments to this built-in method. The first argument is the name of the file that you want to work with, and the second is the mode in which you want to open the file. R stands for read, so I am interested to open this file for reading purpose. I will not be able to amend the contents of this file or to write something to this file. I will only be it will only be possible to read the contents. Okay, in the theory I told you that if your Python interpreter and the file for which the file that you want to open, if they are in the same folder, there is no need to provide the full path. However, if your file is somewhere else and the interpreter is somewhere else, then you have to explicitly tell the interpreter where the file is located. For that, you have to mention the complete path to the file. In my case, the file is students.txt and it is stored on the desktop. The desktop is a folder which is inside another folder Kefi, and this folder Kefi is inside another folder home. As I am using Linux, so my main directory is home. If you are using Windows, then you have to provide the path starting with C, because mostly the Python interpreter is residing inside the C drive, maybe program files or somewhere else where you have installed it. Okay, so the full path to the file and then the mode. By default, the mode is read. If you remove it, doesn't matter, because by default the interpreter will interpret it as a read-only option. Let me show you the file. This is the file, students.txt. You can create this file by using any text editor like Notepad. I am using Sublime, so I have created a Sublime editor. And these are the contents. I have 3 lines in this file, students.txt, and txt is the extension. As we are going to work with text file, so I have created a text file. Now what I'm going to do, I want these lines to be read from the Python. Okay, for that first I need to open the file. If you run this program, let me show you the output. Actually, the output of this program is going to be nothing. Why? Because we have only opened the file. We do not read the file. To read a file, we have to use another built-in method that is known as read. And this is the focus of this second program. Now I want to read a file. I have first, for reading, you have to open the file. So I have opened the file, and then to read the file, you have to use the built-in method read. F is the variable. I want to read the contents of the file which were assigned to the variable f.read. Okay, next thing. Read will read the contents, but it will not display it on the screen. I want the contents that I am reading to be displayed as well on the screen. For that, you have to use the print function. And you know what is the purpose of using print function. As a good programming practice, it is recommended to close the file that you have just opened with the help of the open method. For that, I am using the close method. Hey, I open a file, I read the contents, now it's time to close the file. Let us see the output. If you run this code, you will see the 3 lines will be displayed on the screen. This is amazing, doesn't it? Because I didn't write anything like print, this is first line, print, this is second line, print, this is third line. Instead, the lines were picked from a file and the file is stored on the desk. Right? So this is how we can actually read the contents of a file. The read method will actually read the whole file, the complete contents of the file. However, sometimes we are interested only in reading lines, or we are interested to read the file line by line. For that, the only change that is required is here at line number 6. Instead of using the read method, you have to use the read line method. It tells the interpreter, open the file, assign the contents to the variable f, and then read the content of this file referred by this variable f, but only read the first line. Read line method will return the first line of this file. Let us see the output now. You see, only the first line is displayed. Now the question, if I want the second line to be displayed as well, for that you have to call the same method for the second time, like this. Now it will display the first 2 lines. And then if you want the third line, then you have to call this function once more. There is also methods available for reading a specific line. Okay, you can also search them on the net, or you will see an example later on how to read a specified line by using the read line method. Let us move forward to the next program. Our next program is how you can actually read specific characters from a file. Instead of reading the whole line, instead of reading the whole contents, you can read specific characters as well. For that, again, use the read file, the read method, and specify the number of characters as a parameter. Okay, so 5 mean I am interested only to display the first 5 characters of the file. Let us see. It displays the first 5 characters. THIS 4 character followed by a space will give you 5 characters. If you write, let's suppose 20 here, then it will display the first 20 characters of the contents of the file, including spaces, enter, etc. Lastly, the concept related with reading is how we can actually read a specific line. That is possible with the help of read lines method, but here we will be required to use another variable. Any variable, you can give it any name. The name that I have selected is all underscore lines, and then assign the contents, read lines contents to this variable. Okay, one more thing. This is not read line method. This is read lines method. So it will read the whole contents line by line, and then it will assign the whole file to this variable. But I do not want to display. If you write like this, what will happen? You see, this is actually a list. It displays the whole file, but I'm not interested in all the lines. I want only the second line to be displayed. Now this will display the specific line. That is line number 2. But remember, this is our line number 0, this is line number 1, and this is line number 2. So this is third line is displayed here. So you learn how to display the contents of the complete file, how to display the contents line by line, how to display a specific line, and how to display specific characters. Now let us move to the second basic concept that is related to the writing, which is also very interesting, how we can actually write something to the file. For writing, you can use different modes, like A is for append, W is for writing, and X is for creating. Append means add new text to the end of the file. Existing text will be there. The new text will be added to the end of the file. That is append. First, line number 5 is clear because it is same. We are opening a file. Name of the file is students.txt. And I am going to open it for writing purposes, for append purposes, not for reading purpose. Now you will be able to write something to the file as well, not only read the contents. Next thing, here I just mention name of the file without specifying the complete path, complete location of the file. Okay, now I suppose, but I'm sure that my interpreter and the file students, they are in the same folder. I do not need to explicitly tell the interpreter the location. In your case, if you have created the file on the desktop, then you have to provide the complete location, or either you can move the file to the folder where the Python interpreter is located. That is up to you. Here at line number 6, I am going to write something, and for that, instead of using read method, I am going to use the write method. I have a variable which actually refers to the object file which is stored on the desk. Go there and write this line. Now, if you run this program, you will see, let me remove these lines first. You will see that this line will be added to the end of the file, students.txt. Let us see. Here is the students file. You see, a new line has been added. Okay. And this is interesting, amazing, magic. You write something in the Python and the output appears in the file. And if you close the computer, shut down the computer, the data will be there forever. And this is the beauty. Sometimes we are interested in storing the data, the output of a program, of a code, of a scenario to the file forever for analysis purposes. So this is how we actually write something to the file or append something to the file. And remember the append method, it only works if the file already exists. Okay. So this is how we can actually add something to the file. One more thing. Now I have write something to the file and I'm going to open the file again and then print the contents again. What will happen? These are the contents, the previous contents of the file. You will see that after running this program for one more time, the name of the file is students. So if you run the program, then you see the new line will be added again. Why? Because we have executed this line 3 times. Okay, let's suppose I have removed this line from here and now I am going to run this program, then the line will be added once time. Okay, if you run it for the second time, the line will be added for the second time because the contents are permanently there, not in the RAM, they are on the hard disk, permanently there. So whatever you execute, the changes will be forever as long as the file exists. Okay, now let us see how we can actually write something to the file instead of append. Let us see how the write work. What is the difference? Instead of writing A, now I have write W here, W for write. The mode now is write, not append. What will happen here? Line number 6, open the file, okay. For writing purposes, okay. Then add the line, write. Ali, Bilal and John, they are my best friends. Okay, best programming friends actually, because I use them so much inside examples for explaining things. And then close the file. If you run this program, what will happen? Something will be written to the file. Let us see. Hey, where is the previous data? Gone. That is the difference between append and write. Append, leave the existing text and add something new to the end of the file. Write, whatever it is, remove it and then write the new text. Okay. So this is how you write text to the file by using the write method. Let us make this program a bit more interesting, more interactive. In this program, I'm going to use the same concept, but this time I am interested that the user will provide the names to the program and then We will assign it to variables and then we will store them on the file with the help of write method. When you run this program, the first statement that is going to be displayed on the screen is enter the names of 3 friends. And then the next statement will be displayed friend number 1. With the help of input method, we are going to accept a value from the user and that value will be stored in name 1. Then friend 2, store in name 2, friend 3, store in name 3. Okay, we have 3 variables with 3 values stored in them. Next, open the file students.txt in write mode. If the file already exists, it will open it. If the file does not exist, it will create the file first and then will open it. That is the beauty. And then after opening the file, write something to the file. What is going to be written? Write name number 1. Hey, we have a variable name 1. It has a value entered by the user. Please write that value to the file permanently. Then write the value of name 2 and then the value of name 3 to the file. And at the end, close the file. After that, just display a message to the user. The data that you have provided is written to the file students.txt. When you run this program, it will ask you for 3 names. So where are my best friends? Ali, Bilal, John. Okay, the names were written. Let us see the output. Yes, the names have been written there. With the help of W mode and write method, we are able to write the contents to a file and store it permanently on the desk. Another thing that is important to work with file is how to remove a file. Remember, as in the theory I told you, do not apply this option because it is very dangerous. It will delete the file forever. So be careful. So I have a file which is stored on the desktop and the name of the file is students. The extension is .txt. Now I'm going to remove it. To remove a file, the method to use is remove. In the argument, you have to provide name of the file along with the extension. And you have to use the OS. First, you need to import the library OS because remove is defined inside this module. And then you have to tell the interpreter that remove is defined inside this OS library. So when you run this program, you will see, hey, where is the student's file? It was on the desktop, but now it's removed. Why? Because I have removed the file from the Python using the command remove and then student name. So this is dangerous. Be careful. Okay. Last program is about remove as well, but a bit more interactive. In this program, you see the file was removed, but I didn't get any message. I want the program to give me a message that the file has been removed successfully, as your operating system did it. So let me create the file first, students.txt, and let us try to remove it. So this time what's happening? The first thing, import the library OS and then if statement, check. We have a method that is known as path.exists. First, check if this student file already exists. If it exists, then remove the file. But if does not exist, then print a message, the file does not exist. So as the file exists there, let me show you how it will work. You see, we have a file students. Oops, the name is incorrect. Right. All right. We have a file students.txt and I want to remove it. So let me run the program. You see, disappeared. The file was removed. And now let me run this program for the second time. As we do not have this file, it will display a message, the file does not exist. You want to remove a file that does not exist, so it will give you an error message. That's it. It was all about file handling. Not all, but the basic concepts about file handling. I'm sure you have learned something from this course. If you liked this course, please give your suggestions in the comment section and also do subscribe to the channel. You can spread the channel amongst your friends and colleagues as well. See you with another series of video. Till then, take good care of yourself and goodbye. Stay blessed.